The pound-for-pound king just got completely blown away after seeing what Teofimo Lopez has been doing in training. Word is getting around that Crawford made some jaw-dropping comments about his boy Shakur Stevenson's chances, and it's got the whole boxing community talking. This wasn't just some casual take from Crawford. People close to the situation are saying the legendary fighter is genuinely worried about his training partner after witnessing the absolutely terrifying shape that Teofimo is currently in. People who claim they overheard Crawford's private discussions are dropping some wild details about what the recently retired champion supposedly said regarding Lopez's physical condition and training approach. Word on the street is Crawford dropped something like, "This dude is an absolute monster right now. Not gonna sugarcoat it. I've never witnessed Teo looking this dangerous." Shakur needs to understand that this version of Lopez is completely different from what anyone has faced before. This alleged statement is blowing up across every platform, with fans going crazy, debating whether Crawford is genuinely stressed or just building hype for the January 31st showdown. Multiple sources are saying Crawford's worries are real though, and the boxing legend has supposedly been drilling Shakur even harder after seeing what Teofimo is bringing. This should be an incredible fight.
I think it's a great fight. You'll really see, because at the end of it, they're both Olympians. They're both multi-division world champions. Teo is an incredible fighter, and Shakur is an incredible fighter. Shakur has a really high boxing IQ.
Now, before we get into the wild training clips that have everyone shook, Crawford dropped some fascinating predictions that just added more fuel to this already explosive situation. Right after sparring videos of Crawford and Shakur training together took over social media, Terence supposedly posted a bold prediction about the upcoming battle. Crawford allegedly wrote on his platforms, "I don't claim to know everything, but here's what I'm certain of: Shakur Stevenson is going to demolish Teofimo Lopez." Even though the message looked confident, people who know Crawford personally supposedly picked up on something different in his usual tone. One unnamed source allegedly said, "but always supports Shakur publicly, because that's his guy." Behind closed doors though, he's been warning people that Teo is looking absolutely insane in training. He's definitely not sleeping on this fight.
Great defensive fighter, very good offensive fighter. The difference between the two, for me, I think that Teofimo might be a little bit stronger of the two. But, speed can sometimes nullify power.
This reaction is especially fascinating since Crawford has been working directly with Shakur throughout this entire camp, giving him inside knowledge of Stevenson's preparation and current condition. A lot of people think Crawford is trying to keep Shakur confident and motivated through these public statements, but his private worries about Teofimo's preparation could be telling a completely different story. The boxing world has been going absolutely crazy ever since training clips of both fighters started hitting the internet, with analysts breaking down every single detail to figure out who has the edge. Apparently, there have been times during Shakur's camp where even Crawford looked genuinely surprised by the level of intensity that Teofimo is showing in his preparation.
It's the only way to win. If he stays outside and boxes, Shakur gonna pick him apart. Shakur's a college boxer with some of the best speed in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart. It's hard to hit him. He makes you gamble to hit him, and he's gonna be a tough one to deal with. But if Teofimo is willing to gamble to beat him, then Teofimo can definitely make it a really good fight.
People who say they witnessed training sessions claim Terence Crawford showed Shakur some recent clips of Teofimo working and made some pretty serious observations. One insider who wanted to stay anonymous allegedly revealed Crawford pulled Shakur to the side and basically said, "Check out this man's hand speed, check out his power, check out his movement." He wasn't trying to freak him out, but he definitely needed Shakur to realize that this isn't the same Teofimo from his previous battles. These supposed conversations have become really important now that we're only weeks away from one of this year's biggest fights, and fans are wondering if Crawford sees something the rest of us are missing. Boxing experts think Crawford's experience competing at the elite level gives him special insight to evaluate fighters' conditions and predict outcomes just from watching training footage.
And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro, so it's like I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Teo his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he's like a baby Roy. Like, he's like doing things with his hands down, flashy.
Sources say there were times during camp where Crawford supposedly told Shakur's team they had to turn up the intensity because Teofimo was preparing like everything depended on it. According to people familiar with what went down, there was supposedly a moment where Crawford told the team, "Y'all don't get it. Teo's coming for war. This man is training like he's about to fight for undisputed at heavyweight. We need to match that same energy or this could turn ugly real fast." This alleged comment is now being dissected by fans who think Crawford was genuinely worried about whether Shakur was taking this threat seriously enough early in camp. The most incredible part of this whole situation is the specific training footage that supposedly made Crawford rethink his original prediction of how this fight would go down.
He a little cuckoo too, like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while.
So who do you think wins that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
I think Shakur wins. And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. His IQ will frustrate him.
Don't you think Teo has also good ring IQ and also is slick, fast?
Multiple sources who track both fighters' social media closely say Teofimo Lopez has been dropping absolutely brutal training videos that show his speed and conditioning at never-before-seen levels. One source close to Crawford's camp allegedly said, but watched Teo working the mitts and his exact reaction was, "That's different. That's not human." He kept replaying the video and studying the combinations, the angles, the explosiveness. You could see he was both impressed and worried simultaneously. These supposed reactions from Crawford haven't been officially confirmed through any statements, but how consistent these reports are from different sources suggests something real happened during camp.
I think it's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I knock him out. How I see this fight being played out is with me pretty much setting that momentum for the people out there as well. Not really trying to force for it. However, I can't be too technical with Shakur.
What makes this even more interesting is that Crawford supposedly didn't just watch the footage by himself. He allegedly showed it to Shakur and other team members to make sure everyone knew exactly what they're dealing with. Fans have been absolutely taking over social media with excitement and worry about these revelations, with emotions at an all-time high throughout the boxing community. One fan supposedly tweeted, if Crawford is actually worried about Shakur after watching Teo's training, then this fight is about to be absolutely mental. Bud recognizes talent better than anyone, and his track record is perfect. Another posted with obvious excitement Terence calling Teofimo a beast is the ultimate stamp of approval. This man defeated Canelo and he's saying Teo looks terrifying. January 31st needs to get here now.
You just said though, you said that you ready to pull an upset. So you acknowledging that Shakur is the better fighter?
Never.
No. You just said that. You said the upset.
Well, he said the odds are probably has him ahead.
No, yeah, it's just the odds. They got him as the favorite.
Right now, yeah, I'm thinking it's about 3-1 odds right now. That's it. Still, skeptics have been pointing out that this could all just be promotional strategy to build more buzz and increase pay-per-view sales. One skeptical fan wrote, "This is nothing but hype and marketing." Obviously, Crawford is going to claim Teo looks dangerous. It makes Shakur's potential win look even more impressive. Don't buy into the promotional games. This split among fans shows how complicated modern boxing promotion has become, where real concerns and strategic hype become impossible to tell apart. The timing of Crawford's supposed comments is especially interesting, considering how close we are to the actual fight night at Madison Square Garden. The bout is set for January 31, 2026, meaning both fighters are deep in their final prep phases, and any mental games at this stage could actually matter. Many people find it significant that Crawford would make such strong statements about Teofimo's condition when Shakur still has several weeks of training left to hit peak form.
Would Teofimo knock out Shakur? No. Can Teo adjust to the point where he beats Shakur? Yeah. You don't see how? Shakur hates slick and economic boxers. So does Teo. They both hate where each other are. Shakur looks great against volume punchers.
Boxing insiders have been debating whether Crawford's supposed warnings are real tactical concerns or calculated moves to motivate Shakur to push even harder in these final weeks. Sources close to the situation say Crawford has been incredibly involved during this entire camp, spending way more time with Shakur than he did for previous fights. One person supposedly connected to the camp said, but is literally there almost daily. He's sparring with Shakur, giving guidance, studying film, analyzing everything. This isn't casual mentoring. He's completely committed to making sure Shakur wins this fight. The level of commitment Crawford has supposedly shown makes many believe his concerns about Teofimo are totally real instead of promotional games.
Give out too much. I don't want to give out too much.
Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, we all know he had problems with people that move around the ring. He wanted people to stand in front of them, and he could pick them apart when you stand right there in front of him. But I plan on doing, I mean, I'm not going to say the game plan, but I plan on doing a little bit of both.
What makes this situation even more captivating is the specific parts of Teofimo's training that supposedly caught Crawford's eye and raised concerns. According to sources claiming knowledge of Crawford's breakdown, the legendary fighter was especially impressed by 3 particular elements of Lopez's recent training clips. First, the hand speed Teofimo is showing right now supposedly looks noticeably quicker than what he displayed in his previous battles at 40 pounds. One source, familiar with Crawford's assessment, allegedly revealed but kept repeating his hands are insanely fast right now. He said Teo looks like he's fighting at 105 with the speed he's showing, but he's carrying 140-pound power behind those shots. Second, the footwork and ring positioning Lopez demonstrated in training videos supposedly showed major improvements from his most recent performances.
As far as next, I want to see him fight Teo. If Teo can win, you know, I don't have him beating Shakur, but he's more likely to fight Devin with like out no clauses, you know, just straight up welterweight. We have video footage. We've seen a Shakur Stevenson say in an interview, I don't want no clauses. Then maybe like a year later on the Breakfast Club interview, he say, I want clauses.
Sources say Crawford was especially impressed by how smoothly Teofimo was moving side to side while keeping perfect punching angles throughout his combinations. Third, and maybe most worrying for Shakur's team, the pure physical conditioning that Teofimo appears to be in right now supposedly exceeds anything he's shown in previous camps. One insider supposedly shared Crawford watched Teo doing these brutal conditioning exercises, and he told Shakur this man is getting ready for 12 tough rounds. He's not hunting for an early finish. He's prepared to battle for the complete distance. This kind of detailed breakdown from someone with Crawford's knowledge and experience makes these observations especially potent for predicting what might actually happen when they fight. The fourth thing that supposedly caught Crawford's attention was Teofimo's improved defensive instincts and head movement during his recent training work. Sources claim Crawford pointed out specific moments in Lopez's training footage where his defensive reactions looked sharper than they've been in years.
Man, that fight right there, I think this is gonna be like I think this is gonna be Shakur like best opponent for him, style-wise and all of that. Just because I feel like they match him up perfect.
One person close to the situation supposedly said, but was really impressed with how Teo is avoiding punches now. He told the team, "Do y'all see how clean his defense is? Shakur is going to struggle landing clean shots if Teo keeps moving like that." These observations have supposedly led to changes in Shakur's strategy, with more focus being put on creating setups and finding angles instead of depending on pure technical boxing. The fifth and last thing that sources claim concerned Crawford was the mental concentration and intensity that Teofimo is showing in every single training session. According to insiders, Crawford supposedly told people in Shakur's camp that Lopez seems to be in a totally different headspace than he was during his recent fights. One source supposedly quoted Crawford saying, "This isn't the same Teo who was cruising through fights. This is the Teo who destroyed Lomachenko. This is motivated Teo, and that's his most dangerous form." This evaluation has supposedly pushed Crawford to work even harder with Shakur on mental preparation and staying focused for all 12 rounds.
I'm slow, right?
Mentally.
Oh my God, mentally, okay. I'm talking about I'm slow in the boxing ring, right?
Mentally.
I'm talking about the boxing ring, what you was talking about. I'm slow, right?
Mentally.
Okay, you're gonna see. I promise you're gonna see.
The investigation into what Crawford really thinks about this matchup keeps fascinating boxing fans who are desperately trying to figure out the outcome. Meanwhile, Crawford has publicly said multiple times that Shakur Stevenson will beat Teofimo Lopez, and he even supposedly made a $10,000 bet with streamer Aiden Ross backing Shakur. The public confidence Crawford shows creates an interesting contrast with the supposed private worries that sources claim he's shared about Teofimo's current condition. However, some people close to Crawford's camp have supposedly suggested that his public confidence and private concerns aren't actually conflicting. One source supposedly explained the situation by saying, "But believes Shakur will win. But he also knows that Teo is bringing everything to this fight. You can believe your guy will win while still acknowledging how dangerous the opponent is."
What a fight this is. It's a super fight. It's a super fight. It's interesting because every time I've spoken to Shakur about moving up in weight, he's always said, look, I'm good at 135. I think he understands that these guys at 140 are just a lot bigger.
This viewpoint makes perfect sense, considering Crawford's own experience facing dangerous opponents throughout his incredible career and knowing that confidence needs to be balanced with respect. Crawford's involvement in this fight goes way beyond just casual support or friendship with Shakur Stevenson. According to multiple sources familiar with what's happening, the legendary fighter has supposedly been running film study sessions with Shakur, breaking down Teofimo's previous fights and spotting patterns and habits. One insider allegedly revealed and Shakur have analyzed the Lomachenko fight. Probably they've studied the Kambosos fight, the Josh Taylor fight, every major moment of Teo's career. This level of preparation shows how seriously Crawford is taking his mentoring role and how determined he is to make sure Shakur has every advantage possible. Sources also say Crawford has been bringing in specific sparring partners who can copy different parts of Teofimo's style and physical traits.
Like, we know Teo for getting up for the big fight. And the reason why I really want to see this fight, I truly believe that Teo could stop Shakur. It ain't going to be no headshot that's going to do it. It's going to be the body shots. Shakur didn't get on those ropes when he fought Zepeda. I felt like Zepeda put him.
One person close to the camp supposedly said, but personally selected every sparring partner for this camp. He wanted fighters who move like Teo. Fighters with similar power, similar speed, similar angles. Nothing is being overlooked. The careful attention to detail Crawford is supposedly putting into this preparation has impressed everyone on Shakur's team and boosted their confidence. The bigger picture of Crawford's supposed reactions goes way beyond just this one fight between Shakur and Teofimo. This matchup represents a potential shift in power in the lighter weight classes, with two young champions in their absolute prime fighting for dominance. Crawford's deep involvement with Shakur's preparation shows how seriously the legendary fighter views this bout and how much is potentially on the line for everyone involved. Boxing analysts think whoever wins this fight will immediately become one of the sport's biggest stars and potentially create even bigger matchups in the future.
The fight between Stevenson and Lopez, what a fight.
Who wins that?
Lopez. You think Stevenson? Lopez is a very good fighter, bro. I've trained with him, I've had him on the pod, he bangs hard. He's a good all-round boxer, slick. A lot of people don't give him the credit for how good of a boxer he is. Look, he's the type of guy I know about Lopez is that when he has to turn it up, he turns it up. And I think with someone like Shakur, he will have to turn it up big time.
Interestingly, Teofimo Lopez has made it obvious that beating Shakur is just the first move in his master plan to eventually face Crawford at higher weights. Lopez said in a recent interview that if Crawford can move up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo, then Teofimo should be able to move up to challenge Crawford too. This creates another layer of drama to the situation, as Crawford is basically helping prepare the opponent who his future opponent needs to beat first. Some boxing insiders supposedly think Crawford's intense involvement in Shakur's camp might actually be motivated by wanting to study Teofimo's style and tendencies for a potential future fight. One analyst supposedly commented Crawford is brilliant at studying opponent. By helping Shakur prepare for Teo, he's also collecting information on Lopez's patterns, habits, and weaknesses for a possible future fight. Whether this theory has any merit remains unknown, but it definitely adds compelling context to why Crawford might be so heavily invested in this particular matchup.
Tim Bradley said that he feels like Shakur Stevenson can hurt you. Not necessarily with power, but by frustrating you, controlling the distance, nullifying your offense, just making you look bad. He said that he feels like Shakur has superior boxing IQ compared to you.
That's cool. That's his opinion. That's cool.
The relationship between Crawford and Lopez has been complex over the years, with periods of conflict and mutual respect switching back and forth throughout their careers. Sources suggest Crawford's evaluation of Teofimo's current training condition is purely professional and based on objective analysis rather than personal feelings. One insider supposedly shared but respects Teo's abilities even though they've had their problems. When he says Teo looks like a beast, that's coming from genuine appreciation of talent, not trying to stir up drama. This professional attitude from Crawford shows his maturity and understanding that boxing is ultimately about respecting the craft regardless of personal relationships. As the boxing world processes all these developments and tries to separate reality from promotional hype, the biggest questions still don't have answers. Is Terence Crawford genuinely worried that Shakur might be in real trouble against this version of Teofimo Lopez? The reality is, without direct statements from Crawford himself confirming or denying these supposed private comments, much of this story exists in the world of insider reports and speculation. However, the fact that Crawford is training so hard with Shakur and spending so much time in camp suggests he's taking this threat very seriously regardless of what he says publicly.
Well, you got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
The most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
What we definitely know for sure is that both fighters are in incredible shape. The buildup has been absolutely electric. And January 31st cannot arrive soon enough for boxing fans. Whether Teofimo Lopez is truly the beast that sources claim Crawford called him, or whether Shakur Stevenson's technical excellence will be too much, will be decided in the ring. For now, Crawford must keep pushing Shakur to be completely ready for whatever version of Teofimo shows up at Madison Square Garden on fight night. The stakes are massive, the preparation has been intense, and the boxing world is ready for what should be an absolute war between two elite fighters. Hopefully both fighters stay healthy, make it to the ring safely, and give us the kind of performance that matches all the incredible hype and excitement. That wraps things up for now. For the best updates on news, moments, events, and action in the boxing world, stay connected by subscribing to our channel and remember to turn on notifications. Until next time, take care.